2026 World Cup Round of 32 Preview. Hello, I'm Unlimited Football Moments. Welcome to the channel. Before we dive into the intense knockout bracket, don't forget to subscribe for all the latest World Cup analysis. Continental Representation Round of 32 Qualifiers. UEFA Europe 13-16, CAF Africa 9-10, AFC Asia 29, CONMEBOL South America 56, CONCACAF North Central America and Caribbean 36, OFC Oceania 001-1, South Africa vs. Canada. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 30%, 25%, 45%. Match preview. Canada's clinical finishing in the group stage faces a resilient South African defense. South Africa will rely on disciplined marking, while Canada's high-pressing style will look to exploit gaps in transition. No major injuries reported for either side. 2. Brazil vs. Japan. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 65%, 20%, 15%. Match preview. A tactical masterclass awaits. Brazil's world-class flair meets Japan's highly disciplined, technical squad. Keep an eye on Brazil's midfield control versus Japan's rapid counter-attacks. Both teams are at full strength. 3. Germany vs. Paraguay. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 70%, 20%, 10%. Match preview. Germany enters as clear favorites after a dominant group stage. Paraguay will likely sit deep to soak up pressure, relying on set-piece opportunities. Germany's attacking depth makes them difficult to contain for 90 minutes. 4. Netherlands vs. Morocco. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 35%, 25%, 40%. Match preview. An explosive clash of styles. The Dutch possess a lethal offensive line, but Morocco's defensive stability has been a hallmark of their tournament so far. Discipline will be key. Avoiding early yellow cards will be crucial for the midfield battle. 5. Ivory Coast vs. Norway. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 30%, 25%, 45%. Match preview. A physical encounter expected. Ivory Coast's athleticism is their greatest asset, while Norway will look to utilize their aerial threats in the box. Expect a cagey game with neither side willing to commit too many bodies forward early on. 6. France vs. Sweden. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 60%, 25%, 15%. Match preview. Defending deep versus attacking prowess. France's star-studded squad has shown no signs of fatigue, whereas Sweden must be perfect in their defensive rotations to survive. France is favored, provided they maintain their composure. Survive. France is favored, provided they maintain their composure. 7. Mexico vs. Ecuador. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 40%, 25%, 35%. Match preview. A high-intensity regional rivalry. Mexico will have the crowd advantage, which often lifts their performance level. Ecuador is well-drilled and tactically disciplined. This is expected to be one of the closest matches of the round. 8. England vs. DR Congo. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 75%, 15%, 10%. Match preview. England looked composed in their group. DR Congo needs to manage the tempo and avoid getting stretched by England's wingbacks. England enters the match with a clean bill of health and high morale. 9. Belgium vs. Senegal. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 55%, 25%, 20%. Match preview. Belgium's technical precision against the relentless energy of Senegal. This will be a test of Belgium's defensive transition speed. Senegal must stay disciplined to avoid tactical fouls that could lead to dangerous set pieces. 10. United States vs. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Win percent, draw percent, loss percent, 65%, 20%, 15%. Match preview. The U.S. looks to build on their group success in front of a home crowd. Bosnia and Herzegovina will look for breakthroughs on the counter, but the U.S. midfield depth should allow them to dictate the pace of the game. 11. Spain vs. Austria, win %, draw %, loss %, 60%, 25%, 15%. Match preview: possession-based Spain faces a hard-working Austria. Austria's pressing game has caused trouble for opponents, but Spain has the experience to break through high-pressure lines. A very technical game expected. 12. Portugal vs. Croatia. Win %, draw %, loss %, 45%, 30%, 25%. Match preview: a battle of midfield maestros. Both teams rely on veteran presence and tactical intelligence. This match could very well go into extra time if neither side takes an early risk. 13. Switzerland vs. Algeria. Win %, draw %, loss %, 50%, 30%, 20%. Match preview: Switzerland's disciplined structure is their strength, but Algeria has shown remarkable resilience coming back from deficits. Expect a tactical chess match in the middle of the park. 14. Australia vs. Egypt. Win %, draw %, loss %, 35%, 30%, 35%. Match preview: Australia's endurance versus Egypt's tactical adaptability. Egypt has a balanced squad capable of scoring from various positions. Australia's physical durability late in the game could be a deciding factor. 15. Argentina vs. Cabo Verde. Win %, draw %, loss %, 80%, 15%, 5%. Match preview: heavyweight Argentina is the clear favorite against tournament debutants Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde will play for pride, but Argentina's clinical offensive efficiency should prove too much. 16. Colombia vs. Ghana. Win %, draw %, loss %, 45%, 25%, 30%. Match preview: Colombia's rhythmic passing game meets the high-energy physicality of Ghana. A high-paced start is expected, with both teams looking to secure an early lead to dictate the game's flow. Final thoughts: the 2026 World Cup is heating up, and the stakes in this round of 32 are higher than ever. With 32 teams left, any mistake could be the end of the road. Stay tuned to Unlimited Football Moments as we track every goal, card, and surprise throughout the tournament. See you in the next video.